Welcome. Do that again.
Woo!
There you go. Welcome. I'm your host, Jake. We have a great show for you tonight. We have Austin legend Patricia Vonne.
Awesome.
Followed you forever, known about you, and finally have you out on the show. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We only have an hour,
Okay.
and we have a lot to talk about. So put your toys down. Let's get into this. Let's for people that don't know you, let's kind of, before we get into who you are, let's talk about who you are as, where did you grow up, and give me a little bit about your childhood.
Goodness, yeah. San Antonio, Texas, born and raised, 9th generation Tejana. There are 5 boys, 5 girls, and my dad was a traveling salesman for 39 years, door to door, selling cookware.
Oh, wow.
And my mom, registered nurse, would work the night shift, so she'd be home when the kids would come home from school. And then I bolted to New York to start my band in 1990. I was there for 11 years and moved back here in 2001.
Well, hold on. I want to, just the childhood first.
Childhood.
Yeah, just childhood. We'll get into all that. So you were 10 kids.
10 children raised on, my mom, since my dad was a traveling salesman, my mother, to divert our attention, she would play the Spanish guitar and play her favorite mariachi, like Mexican folk songs, boleros rancheros, like Armando Manzanero, Agustin Lara, Maria Grever, and she would teach us how to harmonize with her. Guantanamera, júrame,
I love that song.
Solamente una vez, sabor a mí. I mean, all those amazing songs that
So your mom's probably a really good singer.
She's a beautiful singer.
Yeah.
And when I sing with Las Valentinas, a side project of mine with Vanessa del Fierro, I sound like her because it's more of an operatic, voice. But yeah, so it was that first connection to my heritage as a child, when my parents would invite the mariachis, like a mariachi trio, to our house to perform for any fun occasion.
Right.
But that was my first connection to my connection as a Latina through music.
Gotcha.
And my mother would teach us our second language by playing those beautiful songs and teaching us that.
That's a good way to learn, is through music.
Fantastic.
Because I listen to Gypsy Kings a lot, and half the time I don't know what I'm singing, but I know how to sing it. Yeah. I know the words, but I don't know exactly.
And your family's from
Los
Mexico.
Peces en el Rio is a phenomenal song. I don't think it's theirs. I think they did a version of it, but Los Peces en el Rio, I think it's a pretty popular song, but man, it's phenomenal.
And it's in your blood.
And I have, Hispanic as well. Okay, so you come from a big family. Let's go ahead and name drop on your brothers and sisters and where you are in the mix.
I'm the 4th in line. Yeah, so 4th in line, second girl.
So you had to do a lot of babysitting.
Yes, 6.
You were like second
cloth
mom.
diapers.
Yeah.
With the pins and my gosh.
Cloth maybe.
Cloth diapers.
Oh, man.
So when I moved to New York, it was like liberation. I was like,
get away from that.
We had so much responsibility,
Yeah.
6 children. So now I have 8 children.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about her kids, which are her albums. So you got into music. When did you start playing guitar? Or was guitar your first? Did you do piano? Or what was your first?
My mom put us, there was a community, we had guitar lessons at a community, what do you call it? Center.
Yeah.
I think I was 16. I didn't take to it right away because it hurt my fingers. I was more into ballet. But when I moved to New York, I missed that. I missed an instrument. So I brought the guitar up. But my first instrument performing live was bass.
Oh.
Yeah.
A bass or stand-up?
It was just bass.
Bass,
I answered an ad in the Village Voice in New York City as a backup singer.
Whoa.
And the lead singer from London, it was like a Beatlesque band of original music, Mick Mahoney. Mick and the Maelstroms, and he taught me the arrangements on bass. And so we were a 3-piece performing live in New York City. And like I said, I was there for 11 years and worked at the Lone Star Roadhouse, the China Club on the Upper West Side, which is where I met Charlie Sexton. I met him there for the first time, and he actually plays on one of my songs, Rebel Bride.
See, this is what's good about doing interviews and asking questions. Like I only know like this much of you. Like I only know what I hear on your albums or what I see in the movies, which is not, that's nothing. Like you're so much more.
Aw, thank you. Well, living in New York for 11 years and starting my band there was so exciting. I mean, I don't think I could have started it in my hometown of San Antonio because I was too shy. I mean, I was a shy girl growing up. I didn't start talking till I was almost 4.
And do you also feel like if you're in your hometown, you're more, the fear of failure is greater?
Of course.
Yes.
But in New York,
no one knows you.
cares.
Exactly. If you don't make it, doesn't matter. No one's going to know.
Who cares? Pick yourself up from your bra straps and keep walking. Dust off the boots.
There you go. Okay, so you're in New York and you're doing your band thing. Did you record anything there, or did you just?
I did start when I was leaving in 2001. We were at the Glass. Oh my gosh. What was it called? The Glass Studios. It'll come to me. But it was my debut album. We started it up there and finished it here. That's when 9/11 happened. We were in New York recording there.
Yeah.
Glass House Studio.
Glass House Studio.
And so half of the debut was recorded up there with Peter Kepler as my producer, and then Donnie Wynn, our drummer, he finished it. Finished the song. So
very good. And is that one of these?
Yeah, it's my debut album of 12 songs, which features Sabrina, El Cruzado, which is interesting. El Cruzado, I wrote an homage to the band from Dusk Till Dawn, Tito Larriva and the Cruzados, who morphed into Tito and Tarantula. I wrote a song for him, and on the set of Desperado, which he was in with Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek, he heard the song and he took me on tour with him for 8 weeks in Europe. It was before I made this album, but I wrote these songs on my hotel stationery while I was on tour with him for 8 weeks in Europe.
Hey, hold on. Who is this young girl?
That's me, young. Thank you, Tita, for giving me my start. And that's how I started touring Europe, because when I had that experience as a tarantula, I was a member of his band, Tito and Tarantula. He had me on keyboards, mandolin, his Telecaster guitar, castanets, backup singers. So I was like a multi-instrumentalist, but he taught me those arrangements, which is what I learned playing with Mick and the Maelstroms. Mick Mahoney said, you can learn, just have them teach you the arrangements. Never say no to a gig. And I'm so glad I listened.
Dang.
So Tito Larriva was one of my, heroes, as he was my brother Robert when he made the film Desperado. And he had Tito in there, not only as an actor, but scored the film. It's Tito and Tarantula.
So for those of you that haven't figured it out, Robert Rodriguez is her brother.
Mi hermano.
And you have a lot of musicians and stuff in the family.
There's a lot to talk about.
When did you, you did the music. When did you start doing film?
Music videos. I started kind of producing my music videos, but being really involved. And I edited Rattle My Cage, which we'll play later. That was my first editing from start to finish. But I started 2D animations with my music videos and doing the drawings and watercolor backgrounds and editing them. And really, I'm a visual person, so I know my songs. So I was like, gosh, this would be great.
No one's going to do it like you.
So that's fun. And it's very laborious.
And what year is this, roughly?
The 2D animations? I think it started like 2016, 2015. I started going to the Austin School of Film to learn how to do animation. And then that morphed into wanting to do my first short film, Cold Dark Hollow. We're going to show you tidbits of all these.
Should we do Rebel Bride now?
Let's do Rebel Bride. I would love to.
And set this up for everybody.
This is like a European travelogue, because I love to tour Europe. And Charlie Sexton is one of the guitar players on here, and Raphael Geil on drums. And it's a European travelogue. We're going to take you around Europe and Japan, Lithuania, Poland as well. So it's all in there. In Mexico, all in 3 minutes.
There you go. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Here comes the bride, all dressed in white. On my white lace satin dress, string of pearls down my back. Well, I'm getting ready, my heart's strong and steady for my one-eyed rebel jack. Without you, my life's a shade of blue, and I don't know where I'm at. a castle of stone. I wanna be the queen sitting on my throne. My love is a rage made of flesh and bone. So let's hit the ground running, baby, let's tear out here. Rebel bride, come on, little baby, won't you step inside? Rebel bride, shatter, but hello, matter, cause baby, our hands are tied. My love is a rage, and baby, you know I will forever. I want you by my side, so I'ma get ready. My heart's strong and steady, let's pitch us a ride while you're kissing your bride. Oh yeah, rebel bride, come on, little baby, won't you step inside? Rebel bride, rebel bride, come on, little baby, won't you step inside? Rebel bride, yeah. Come on, step inside.
Oh my gosh.
Rock and roll.
I'm so inspired. I love seeing travel. I love it. I love it. I need to get my food and travel blog going and get that thing going. All right.
I love traveling.
Yes,
I love
it's everything.
I'm a Sagittarius. I
Think
love
about this.
traveling.
There are people that just really stay in the U.S. They don't even travel to other states. They have this time off and they don't travel.
Interesting.
Like, I don't know how that, I don't know.
Yeah, give me a ticket anywhere. Ready
Yes.
to go.
So, I know one of your favorite holidays is Christmas.
Woo, yes, as it
And-
was Elvis's
There you go.
and many other people.
Was this because of your, why did this become, how did you get so, I mean, obviously we all love Christmas.
Where
but-
this is my 8th album. I'm very proud of it because it was inspired by the San Antonio food drive during COVID. Every Friday on Facebook, I did a live. I had never gone live before, but my hometown has the highest poverty rate, but also there was an iconic shot of thousands of cars in line for food during COVID. And so I started on my mother's birthday, May 1st until Christmas of 2020, and we raised enough money to feed over 70,000 people in my hometown.
That's awesome.
But SA Food Bank, San Antonio Food Bank, it distributes food to 29 counties. So it's not just my hometown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the importance of that at that moment, it was like the most basic need was food, and
Yeah.
people can't put that on the table.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening in this
Right,
country.
yeah.
So when it came to Christmas, and I was like, how much did we raise altogether collectively for Facebook Live? And that was just people donating. $1 equaled 7 meals, or, amazing, 35 pounds of food or something.
Yeah.
And so I kept saying that every Friday, just, tune in,
Yeah.
tell your friends,
Yeah.
here's a link. And so when that happened, I wanted to write a song a Christmas song because it's Christmas.
That's the Christmas spirit too. It's like
yes,
giving
it's like
and
I want to
share.
write an original.
Yeah.
So it was only meant to be a single, which is the first track on the album. Santa's on his way. I went to Rick Del Castillo, my producer, and I said, "It's COVID. It's just a vocal and piano. Let's send it to Scott Plunkett, our dear friend. He plays keyboards for Chris Isaak." Very good friends of mine. The whole band is.
Good guy to know.
He said, "I know," and he was so generous. He not only played on it, but he sent it back sounding like a Nelson Riddle orchestra, like orchestral arrangements. And I went, "Holy smoke!" And it just hit me in the heart.
Yeah.
And I went, "I think Baby Jesus has other plans." I could hear that voice, Diosito, saying, "A single, really? After all I've done for you?" 7 albums later, and I get a single? No. And I'm thinking, how do I do this? It's COVID. He goes, and I could hear the voice saying, "I will help you find a band. I will help you write the songs. I know it's April, and you have until Christmas to make an album." And so I contacted Rosie Flores, Alex Ruiz of Del Castillo, David Grissom. They were the first, and I was thinking 6-song EP, maybe, and it became a full-blown album, 10 original songs that Rick Del Castillo at the helm. It was like a freight train running, but I don't write that fast.
Yeah.
But because they gave, it was like out of the generosity of spirit that inspired these songs. Not only that, we made 11 music videos, mostly on iPhones, when Mark Del Castillo helping me, but I'm like, let's do it. Let's go all the way for Baby Jesus. Let's do 10 original songs, and let's do a music video for each one by Christmas, and we pulled it off.
And you make a cute little elf. A cute little Santa elf.
And on all my albums, I think I'm proud to say, all my albums are original music. Yeah. Because I'm here for a short time. You never know when you're going to go.
Make your mark. Yeah.
Make your mark. Yeah. But on this album, my sisters and I, every Christmas, we would sing Carol of the Bells in 3-part harmony. So it's a cappella, all my sisters, and they recorded it in like 3 different states, 4 different studios. We were not together as all the other musicians. And I do want to mention quickly that what made this a miracle also is when I mentioned I moved to New York, and I was there for 11 years, and I worked at the China Club. I was covering shifts for my big sister Angela. She helped me move to New York. She helped me in many ways. But the musicians that we met working at that club from, I think it was like a 10 o'clock to 4 a.m. shift, where I met Charlie Sexton for the first time, but was Steve Ferroni from Tom Petty's band. He said yes to this album.
That's awesome.
Carmine Rojas from David Bowie's band, he's the bass player, said yes to this album. Tommy Price from Billy Idol band, Rebel Yell, he said yes. He plays on Santa's On A Rampage, which we're going to play for you. Nice. 3 members of Chris Isaak's band, Scott Plunkett, Rolly Sally on bass, Johnny Reno, who was a member of Chris Isaak's band. And then Ruben Blades not only co-wrote a song with me, but it was a duet. And he carved out time to sing on this. And I mean,
now when you're writing these songs, as you crank those out, do the songs come to you? Are you more playing something and you're like, oh, this is a cool melody? Does the melody come, or are you more lyrics and then
both?
Yeah.
Both. It could be melody, or I always love to start with a title. Johnny Reno always told me. Johnny Reno from the Johnny Reno and the Sax Maniacs was the first live show I ever saw in my life, and I went with my brother Robert and my dad, and and I co-wrote Rattle My Cage with him, Hot Rod Heart, and we've written many songs together, and he plays all over my albums, all of them, but...
start with the title.
Start with the title first is always how I like to go. If not,
that's probably
melody.
good. I'm getting into manifesting and just affirmations, and they say if you don't know where you're going, you're just wondering. Like,
have a starting point.
Yeah, shoot for this, and you're more likely to get there. You don't just start driving a car. You say, I'm going to San Antonio, and then you'll get there. You get to I-35, whatever. But if you don't know where you're going, you'll just be driving, wasting gas.
And it's different for everyone. But interestingly enough, the Christmas album I wrote in a park, walking through nature, because it was COVID, right? And I loved it. I was the first time I walked out to the park, I was like, I don't do this. Yeah. And I was talking to the flowers and talking to the trees. Oh, hello, beautiful tree. You look so beautiful. I'm going to write a melody to you. Help me write a melody. And Noche Buena with Alex Ruiz came out of that, Ay que Noche Buena. And I was singing to the tree. I'm not kidding.
Hey,
I'm not kidding.
COVID was jacked up. But
nature.
One thing it did, I spent more time outside that year because, you couldn't really do anything.
Me too.
I started paddleboarding. I started hiking more. I did everything more. I was outside constantly. So it sounded like it happened to you too.
Yes,
We were
all
so
of us.
caged up that you just, you got to get outside, and it makes you appreciate it more when you do go outside.
It felt so healing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote the title track, My Favorite Holiday. I remember exactly where I was walking across the field, and I had to put Valentine's Day in there.
Yeah.
Eternal Valentine, true love is hard to find. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on flowers, come on
good.
trees.
We need to have you back on with a guitar someday.
Oh, no,
We'll have to come.
promise
have
you
back
I
out.
will.
Okay,
I didn't
good.
know. Santa's on his way. Yeah.
So we
that's
have one of
like
these songs we can play, maybe?
Let's do.
Okay, let's do that.
Santa's
Let's
on
get
a
that,
Rampage because I wrote that with Rosie Flores, and it was chosen as the coolest song in the world on Little Steven Van Zandt's
There you go.
Sirius Radio Underground Garage. So thank you, Little Steven.
There you
Santa's
go.
on a Rampage.
Here we go. We're going to play about a minute of this because we got only an hour. Santa's on a Rampage.
Santa's on a rampage, he's gonna make a party tonight. He's gonna drop the toys for the boys and girls before midnight. Yeah. Santa wants to rock more than ever before. His friends will be waiting for him at the front door. Santa's on a rampage, he's gonna make a party tonight. Everybody's popping and rocking like Elvis tonight. Elvis tonight. They're all in the spirit 'cause it's Christmas Eve, alright. Alright. Santa's has a groove and they got the job done. Now it's time for Santa to have a little fun. Santa's on a rampage, he's gonna make the party tonight. Party tonight.
All right. All right.
Rosie Flores. That was
Man.
Tommy Price on drums, Rolly Sally on bass, Rick Del Castillo on guitar. He played many, many instruments on this album, I have to say. And then Rosie made an appearance and sang it with me and wrote it with me. Thank you, Rosie girl.
So let's also get into, it is South by Southwest. You are promoting and part of a lot of things.
Yes.
So let's, I don't know if these are too
It's okay.
small, but anyway, let's talk about these. Let's, which one first?
This Thursday at the Continental Club Gallery, it is the day show, free day show from noon till 6. We have Elizabeth Lee and Martin Hawk, Elizabeth Lee Delgado, Dolores, Mirna Cabello and the Bulldog, Cecilia and the Broken Hearts, Vanessa Cherry and Mariachi Martini, followed by me, Patricia Vonne Trio. And that's Thursday. It's a free day show. And that's Latina Palooza started about 6 years ago because Steven Wertheimer wanted an all-Latina lineup, and he had me book it.
So have you been doing it for the 6 years? Wow.
yeah. And then South by Southwest caught wind of it and said they wanted a Latina Palooza for an official, which is really triumphant. I think it's triumphant for Latinas because during this time, it's the most important week for music and the biggest music festival on the planet, pretty much. And Latinas sometimes are overlooked. Latinx sometimes overlooked. And so thank you, South by, for making it an official showcase for us Latinas to give us a spotlight. And so Friday on St. Patty's Day is the official South by Showcase, which will feature Mariachi Las Coronelas. They're an all-female mariachi band from my hometown of San Antonio. And then that's at 8:30. It starts at 8:30 until 1:30. Mariachi Las Coronelas, and then Patricia Vonne, and then the Tiaras at 10:30, Leah Alonso at 11:30, and then Cecilia and the Broken Hearts, 12:30 for Latina Palooza official showcase Friday, March 17th at Cooper's Barbecue.
There you go. Get some
And
barbecue.
Del Castillo's going to be there Wednesday night at Cooper's Barbecue. So
I think the
Latina-
Tiaras might be my new favorite band.
They're fantastic. Three sisters, powerhouse sisters,
I have to meet them in person. I have to go out to that.
carrying the torch.
You have to introduce me.
I will.
Okay. Okay. We got a lot to talk about. South by Southwest. So you were probably involved even before this, or was this your main big thing with South by that you're doing now?
They graciously made it an official, but we had been doing it as a free day show
Kind of a- okay,
for,
side
to
deal.
give
Yeah.
Latinas a presence
stage.
during South by, and it was at the Continental Club. This year it'll be upstairs in the gallery, but we would have it downstairs all day, and it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
Those free, I will say, some of that off South by Southwest is some of the best.
Yeah,
You know,
and
like you
Soko.
see so much talent during South by,
South
whether they're
Congress,
official or
love
not,
it.
like incredible talent.
Yeah.
You know, it's great that it's gotten so big, but it also, just like Austin, you know, Austin's so big, there's things that come with it that are bad, like traffic and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
man, the pricing just,
I
wish
know,
they'd
I
come
know.
back down. But anyway, South by Southwest is awesome.
Yeah, but I met a
and-
lot of my contacts, through South by to go overseas in Europe, and that's what I love. I love learning languages. I love soaking up culture, and if I could just, and I would love to, make more contacts.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure after they play here, people from all over the world are here watching. They might see these bands and say, "Hey, come to Germany. Come to wherever
Exactly.
wherever the person is that sees these people." And now these Texas, all women, are going all over the world. That's awesome.
Yes.
So speaking of going all over the world, your summer tour, you travel a lot, but what's your next plans? Where are you going?
Oh, I love traveling. July, we're going to Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. And the first time I went to Germany was in 2002 with Tito and Tarantula.
That would be
was
fun.
The tour. So that's the first time I went, and I was like, man, I got to get my band over
Yeah.
here. So we're going back in July. We just did a 25-date tour in Germany in October, which was really successful.
5 days. Wow.
But it was, people were still timid about going out
out,
for COVID.
yeah.
But every night we rocked out with 1,000%.
Yeah.
And because of the Ukraine war, people are hit so hard with their electricity and power going up 3 to 5 times more they're having to pay. So they literally had to choose between buying light bulbs or a concert ticket. And so that's why every night we hit the stage 1,000%
Yeah,
to
give 'em
whoever
everything,
came.
yeah.
And that just melted my heart
yeah.
because they really were so hungry for music.
Yeah.
And being shut in through COVID, and it was just wonderful to see everyone out.
Yeah.
And I thank them profusely. Thank you for being here. Dankeschön, mein Freundin.
Do you, are you pretty, like we were talking off camera, sometimes people from Texas are huge outside of Texas. Like they'll be oh yeah, I know that band, but they're massive
I
overseas.
get it. I mean, when we tour in Europe, it could be Lithuania, we were in Poland.
And you're like, how do you know me?
Yeah. One time I was in Bilbao, Spain. I was walking out of my hotel, and there were 3 men lined up with their badges for, I guess it was a festival or something, and they wanted my autograph. And I said, ¿Quién soy yo?
Yeah.
And I was looking back, and they said, Patricia Vonne. And I was like, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
That's awesome.
it still takes me aback. I mean,
Yeah.
I just sometimes don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing with fame is it's great because you can reach audiences, you can, do festival, you can inspire people with fame. But one thing that I can't imagine is like if you're so famous that like you can't even walk into a restaurant. I mean, that probably doesn't happen to you over there, but
I like where I am.
you kind of get recognized, but not too recognized,
I'm just thrilled to have 8 albums out in their original music. You had asked me about my last name, Vonne. I would love to touch upon that.
I was like, hold on.
And I'm proud that through my music, I could scream out my heritage out loud because when I was living in New York for 11 years, I was pursuing the arts and I was going on auditions, hitting the pavement and pounding the pavement, along with my sister Angela, who's in my first short film as my leading actress. But I got the same answer through the casting agents to my agent. She does not look Mexican enough. She doesn't look Latina
So they were
enough.
hung up on Rodriguez?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't
Meaning
even
not
watch it.
wanting to hire you
I don't
or
look,
saying...
They said I don't look Rodriguez.
No, but who
Ella no me
cares?
parece Latina or Mexicana. I'm like, but I understand it. Green eyes. My mother's, her family's from Spain. My father's family's from Mexico. I have green eyes. I'm 5'10". I have these, pointy features.
Yeah.
Do I look Mexicana? For that role, I could understand why they would not let me through the door. but I needed to survive and I needed to eat. And to survive in New York City, I was like working at the China Club and the Lone Star Rodeos, and I had 3 jobs at all times. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to survive this city. Like, literally, I'm going to, you know, I was skinny already. I was going to fly away. So I was like, wow. So I said, I think I'm going to have to use my middle name. But it's my middle name. It's Patricia Vonne Rodriguez. Yeah, Patricia Vonne Rodriguez.
Eyes, how many people in your family do they have Mexican brown?
My mama has hazel eyes. Robert has, my brother Robert has hazel eyes. And my brother Marcel has these really amazing, like, green, blue eyes, like a wolf.
Yeah.
And then the rest is chocolate.
Yeah, there you go. So funny about my family, you know, my grandfather's from Mexico, married a Cherokee Indian, so my mom's half Mexican, half Cherokee Indian. All the kids on my mom's side from that family, all of them have, you know, his Mexican brown eyes, except for all of us second born. We all have blue eyes, bluish green.
Beautiful.
All of the second born, like all my cousins, all the second born cousins have blue eyes. Like, that's just crazy how that,
Interesting.
My brother has brown eyes, but I got the pretty eyes.
Wow, they're beautiful.
Yeah. It's just crazy how that genetics happens.
But yeah, like I said, that's why all of my albums have maybe 3 or 4 Spanish songs on them, and then I made a all Spanish album, Viva Bandolera, and I just love, when I was in Mexico, I said, mi sangre es mexicana, pero soy tejana, right? And it just felt so good to, you know, to always have this as my, something to leave behind.
Yeah.
And people can always like, Patricia Vonne, that's not Latina. But my name is Rodriguez. But it saved my life, so I never really wanted to change it back. And it does separate my private life from my personal life, which is really nice.
Yeah. You can hide if you need to.
Yes.
Get away. All right. So, yeah, Europe, and you're going there when? What?
July.
July. Okay.
Check out my website.
Oh, yeah. By the way, let's give out your socials.
Okay.
There you go. PatriciaVonne.com, Facebook. Patricia. Okay. Let's see. Are we due for? We talked about this. What were we going to play next?
Let's do an animation.
Animation.
And then
okay.
we could do my short film, 20 seconds.
And I don't want to butcher that, so you say the name of
Huerta
that.
de San Vicente. I wrote this about a real man. He was considered one of the most famous Spanish poets of the 20th century. His name is Federico Garcia Lorca. My eldest sister, Angela, who's still in New York acting, she was in one of a play that he wrote, Yerma. That's when I first heard his name, and his name just, it floored me. I was like, Federico Garcia Lorca, whoa, man. And so when I learned more about him, he was murdered during the Spanish Civil War senselessly, and he was like famous with Dali. They were friends, Salvador Dali. And so I went to his home in Granada. It's a museum. And I went with my sister, Elizabeth, and we went into his house, and everything was left the way it was when he passed away. And so we got to see his poems in his, you know, in a glass case with his handwriting and so that's in this animation, and it's just an homage to his life, and also it does have a death scene in it, but it was 2D animation. It took me about a year to make, and I just felt he should live through his works. They tried to destroy his works, but it made him even more famous. Thank God. And so he lives through his works and through this song.
All right, so we can play a minute of this or what?
Sure, if you like.
Okay, here we go.
He buscado la fortaleza del espíritu del príncipe andaluz dentro del parque extremo suroeste de la bella ciudad. Una casa blanca en la calle Virgen Blanca en la bella Granada. Seguir las señales y suspiros fantasmales que me guían a la huerta de San Vicente. Se huele el aroma de jazmín y azahar en los jardines de clavelinas. De tu deseo, tu balcón está abierto donde se puede ver la sierra
picture.
Viva Lorca! Viva Lorca!
Very cool. So you're tapping. Hold on. What do you? Does it matter?
You want a
what
lesson?
Yeah. What do I?
Here, try this one. This one is no. You take the red one. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Okay. Let's put this on your thumb. A little
Oh,
fit.
thumb. Okay. Oops. Sorry.
There we go. And then it kind of fits on
Right.
it like a saddle.
Oh. Okay.
Right on the nail bed.
Okay.
And like that. And then you kind of like you're hugging a
How
tree.
did you separate them?
Well, you hug a tree. Don't put
Hug
it
a
up because
tree.
you won't get any sound.
okay.
And you let it drop down.
Oh.
Oh, wow, you're going right for it. Yeah. And then you kind of ricochet it off the side. That's great. You're getting sound out of it. It does take
Well,
some
I can't play a
practice.
guitar, but I can play these things.
Try it just with your middle finger.
Oh. Oh, middle.
But down. Exacto. Perfecto.
You can have me on stage now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Be a
that's all it
guest
is.
player.
Kind of plays by itself.
That's cool. All right. I've never seen those up close.
And then you can do, let me do real
play
quick,
on your-
because I didn't bring a guitar today. I'm so sorry, but here's some.
Ooh, there you go. That's awesome.
You take liberties, like a
Yeah.
bum, bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, and then off of you, and then the Clint Eastwood. Ooh, so fun,
Oh, I love it.
like Bruce Lee.
Man, the good, the bad, and the ugly soundtrack. Do you remember that? God, that was an incredible soundtrack. Cold Dark Hollow.
That is my 4-minute debut short film. I took classes at the Austin School of Film, but before I took those, my brother Robert Rodriguez did a master class during South by Southwest. I was in that room, and I always loved listening
taught
to his
it.
he taught it.
Yeah.
And he made a movie called Red 11 to coincide with that master class, and going back to his roots and El Mariachi style of shooting on a budget. And I really, after these animations, I'm like, I want to make like a Rod Serling homage, 4-minute Twilight Zone would be great. And I asked my mother, I said, she loves the Twilight Zone, and she would tell us, about Rod Serling, and like there's always a positive message at the end, which she really loved. And it was creepy at the same time.
God,
She has a very macabre sense of humor too.
I bet so many people, young people, have no idea what we're talking about.
Rod Serling of the Twilight Zone from the black and white.
Because when did they stop? Like, I saw it on reruns.
I know
but
they had like 136 episodes.
60s?
I know. They played a marathon every New Year's weekend, New Year's
Probably
Eve.
on like Time or the
Sci-fi.
Warner, Sci-Fi.
Sci-fi.
Okay.
And my mom and I are in bed watching it together. We're just like in heaven. But I asked her, I said, if you were going to make your own Twilight Zone, Mom, because I want to make my first short film, what would it be about? Because I can write songs, but I'm not good at storytelling. And she said, and without missing a beat, she said, I would probably write about something I know, like being in the orphanage. She was an orphan.
Oh, and that you could make that scary and
but it was like, how real can that be?
Yeah,
and for her to just like go to that moment. And so I was like, wow. So my 4-minute film, it's about a single mother going through PTSD from a divorce. She's got 2 children, and everyone can relate to relationships going toxic really fast. Whether it's fighting against a disease or alcoholism or something, but then once it's over, you have that PTSD, and so there's an acupuncturist scene, in a real one, in the 4-minute film, and I have this scary mask that I used in The Dark Mile, one of my videos, but I love that scary mask. I love scaring people on Halloween, and so it had to be in there. So I play the monster, I play the nurse. You don't see me, you just hear my voice, but it's my eldest sister, Angela, who carries the film, and she won 5 Best Actress awards at Cannes International Film Fest for Best Actress. I know, I'm so proud of her. It almost makes me cry. It's like we pounded the pavement in New York for so long, and so for her to be in my first short film, and it really,
You paid her back.
we paid each other back. We're like just still helping each other out.
Yeah.
2 New York City film festivals for Best Actress. That's where we started, both of us. If she had not helped me move to New York, I don't know what I would be doing today. I don't think I would have had the guts to start my band in San Antonio. So I was able to have the freedom and the autonomy and the courage to do it all there. But she was my, my strength.
And you did everything
Angela.
on this. You edit.
Yeah.
shots.
My brother's such an inspiration. He said, just go, you're ready, just go,
Yeah.
start it.
Yeah.
And so, and we're only a year and a half apart. So I really wanted to also make him proud of me.
Yeah.
So like, it's a 4 minutes. So
Yeah.
I wrote it, directed it. I really wanted to get into that,
Yeah.
and then edited, because I
How
love editing.
how long did you like shooting? Like, was this
2 days.
Oh, so
yeah,
really
just 2
quick,
days.
yeah.
We shot at my parents' house, and
Probably one,
that's
two
what he,
locations, something.
That's what he teaches you in his book, Rebel Without a Crew. Use locations that you have.
Yeah.
Use your house.
Yeah.
Use it. And so we shot it at my parents' house, and then we did have to go to the acupuncture office to do that.
Okay, so too low.
And but it was really amazing. It was really kind of creepy. And my mom has 2 prayer rooms in her house, and so one of them has these, big Jesus on a cross, and the
Virgin Mary somewhere
Yeah, so
in
I
there?
used the
Yeah.
eyes, and there's some close-ups in there of her statues, and so I used those
Yeah,
for one
yeah.
of the scenes, and it's kind of a bit creepy, but it served its purpose.
Nice. So this is a lot about her, or she just gave you the skeleton?
She gave me the idea of something I know of, and like I said, we've
But
all
she
been through.
she was an orphan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that plays into, and I'm just trying to get deep here, do you think that plays into why she had so many kids?
That's an interesting question. My mother is part of the Third Order of Carmelite nuns, which means for the lay people, when you decide not, she was ready to be a nun. She was a postulant. She was the quintessential Maria Von Trapp of the Sound of Music, and we were the Mexican Von Trapp family
The
singers.
Mexican Von Trapp, yes.
Honestly,
I love that.
Honestly, I don't know. My dad talked to her, and she was going to Incarnate Word College in San Antonio, and they had, a nunnery, but she was a postulant. She was studying to be a nun, and then she also got her nursing degree. So when she was taking her nursing degree, getting her nursing degree, and she got it, she was like in a flux. She wasn't sure, did she want the holy life or the married life?
Oh, yeah.
She met my dad on a blind date. On the first date, he wanted to propose, and he didn't want to scare her, so he proposed on the 3rd date in 1 week.
That happens a lot back then. My dad asked my mom after super fast, and they were married within 3 or 4 months. That's insane.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. That never happens now. You can't even get a call back or a text back in dating nowadays.
I think we're just petrified of each other. Men and women petrified
You have
each other.
the best date ever, and then you never hear from the girl. What the hell happened?
I know.
Yeah, totally different time.
But she told my dad, she said, I'm going to go open up an orphanage in Laos.
That's cool.
With a priest. And she was
Yeah.
on a mission, and my dad had other plans. So she literally went to a weekend retreat, wrote down the pros and cons, and of the married life and holy life, and she said she was floored to find that there were more pros in the married life.
Yeah.
And so she said yes.
Well, she got her
That's the
kids.
story.
She's got plenty of kids.
Oh, she loved having children.
Yeah.
And one thing, Robert and I are a year and a half apart. So in his new movie Spy Kids 5, Armageddon, which comes out on Netflix this year, he named the children after me and him, Patty and Tony.
So wait, no, that's not out yet anyway.
Not out yet.
Yeah, because when you told me about that in the email, I started looking for it. I was like, I couldn't find anything. I was like, maybe those are 2 separate
This
things.
year
So
they
it's
shot it.
Spy Kids animation.
Yes, and I have a cameo in it. I have a speaking
go.
role. The real Patty has to make an appearance.
That's awesome. So what kind of deal is that to set up Netflix? That's got to be a hard contract. Are any of his movies on?
We Can Be Heroes
Is on there.
is on Netflix, and it was #1, I think, for 10 weeks. But I can't wait to be the voice. When I do Comic-Cons or in-person workshops, I love speaking to the children, the young people, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard them say to me, I ask them, what is your passion? I go, it used to be drawing. It used to be this. It used to be, but my teacher said I wasn't good enough, and I stopped. I'm like, no. So now I can tell them, you can be a hero too. Look, little did I know, we were Spy Kids and we didn't know it.
Yeah.
Or you could be a hero and just don't
It is
stop.
insane
Don't
how
stop.
one comment can derail. But all these famous athletes were told you're not good enough, and they're superstar. Einstein. All these people were told. But they didn't listen. They just, or their mom, typically their parents, steered them into it.
Yeah, so I want to help be that voice.
Yeah,
Because, what better voice than to say,
because you did it.
It's named out, he's naming the kids after us because we were playing, we were spy kids. We would play spies growing up. And
So we're going to play a
little do you
teaser
know.
from that. No, we don't have anything like that. Dang it.
No, but did we show Dark?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that's what we were going to talk. Yeah.
Cold
Because we just talked about that. Let's show, this is a trailer or is this a what?
It's a 20-second trailer, and I want to thank the Austin School of Film for those wonderful classes of animation that I took and digital photography and avant-garde film, and, you know, to make this.
All right, here we go.
There's fear, love cannot grow. I know without forgiveness, there breeds fear. Fear is a 4-letter word.
To help me
Well,
out.
yeah. I mean, I guess if you have a short, the trailer for the short's going to be short.
So 20 seconds, yes, it's a
So there you
4-minute
go.
short. But yeah, I can't wait. It's still on a private setting because it's still on the festival circuit.
Okay.
But it will be out soon, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
show it to people. Forgiveness is the positive message, and
Yeah, you got to let that stuff go. That stuff will
be a
kill
hook
you.
in your back.
Yeah, that'll kill you. So back to Netflix. Any of his films, did he get on there? Like, I don't understand.
It's his
How hard is it
children's
to present to Netflix, say, I want my film? Like, what kind of a deal is that?
Well, you know, that's a good question to ask him. All
Okay.
I know is that We Could Be Heroes, I think, was the first time he did have it on Netflix. But with his trajectory of the franchise of Spy Kids, how could they say no?
Yeah, they were.
And so they made that specifically for Netflix, and then Spy Kids will be on Netflix as
Nice.
well.
All of them.
5.
They're going to start.
Well, the 5th one, the new one, Armageddon.
But see, that's what I don't understand. Like, how do you get Netflix? Like,
Maybe
why
it's
would they
on
not
there.
want all of those? I'm sure once they get
maybe.
them, it'll probably, they'll probably
sure
buy
they
the whole
are.
franchise. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Just don't know how Netflix works.
It's a
Oh,
labyrinth.
and this your Dark Cold Hollow won Best Women Empowerment.
Best Women Empowerment Short at the Paris International Short Film Festival.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so proud of that.
How's that
because,
hit you in the?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's about survival and resilience, and everyone has gone through that. You know, relationships that go bad, and then how you rise above, and how you move on.
Yeah.
And some people move on faster than others.
Yes.
But with a broken heart, make art.
Yeah.
So
Make lemonade out of lemons.
yes.
That's awesome. And then also, I want to make sure we get these other videos in.
Ooh,
before
yes,
we...
yeah. Ponte Vaqueros. I want you to see my
yeah.
live band. I want to thank Scott Garber on bass, David Pralas on violin, Hector Munoz on drums, Robert LaRoche on guitarra, and Rick Del Castillo, who's our special guest in this live performance. It's called Fuente Vaqueros. And this also is a song about Lorca. It's his hometown,
Oh, nice.
Fuente Vaqueros. And I actually play the Rickenbacker lead on this.
Nice.
But I play acoustic and castanelas, and this one I
All right, and we're going to play the whole one of this
Yay!
because it's so good. All right.
Austin Music Live Zodiac Studios presents.
Oh my goodness. How are y'all doing out there? The feeling's mutual. We're gonna take you to Andalusia with this next song. I wrote it about one of the greatest Spanish poets of the 20th century, Federico Garcia Lorca. So I'm gonna take you to his hometown. Feel free and dance. And one more thing about that, I believe that Lorca really speaks to the artist's soul. He died a tragic death during the Spanish Civil War, but his spirit lives on through his works and through this song. Vámonos, Puente Vaqueros! Puente Vaqueros, la joya. escucha los grillos cantando bajo los árboles de olivos, donde escuche el murmullo del agua bajo los árboles de olivos. En la provincia de Granada, bajo los árboles de olivos, hay una joya coronada bajo los árboles de olivos. En la provincia de Granada.
Woohoo!
Man, I wish that place was still around.
I know.
So many places have just gone out. It's like popular, famous places, like no more.
I'm so glad we have that live.
Yeah,
It's
and
hard to
that
get.
place was great for capturing video.
Yes.
So let's just one more time talk about the Latina Palooza
Yes.
stuff.
Latina Palooza, we have a day show this Thursday at the Continental Club Gallery from 12 noon
Wait,
to
what's
6.
the Continental Gallery?
It's
Not the
right
Continental?
upstairs.
Is that back door, front
No,
door?
you just right up the stairs from the tattoo parlor, right
Okay,
upstairs.
okay.
It's like a little intimate room, a little
Gotcha.
speakeasy.
By the way, that's a great place to go.
Normally
like,
we do it
awesome.
downstairs, but this year is upstairs.
okay.
And then that's Thursday. And then Friday on St. Patrick's Day is at Cooper's Barbecue starting at 8:30 in the evening until 1:30. And that's the official South by Southwest Latina Palooza.
There you go.
Yahoo!
And your socials we'll put up there again. Man, okay, I got like 2 minutes with you. What's next?
Let's see, South by Southwest. I
South by-
take it
okay.
week by week.
I mean, do you like you're like I want to do another movie? You're going to do another album?
Well,
like what? When you have your free time again?
That's interesting. You have that written down.
Realtor, yeah.
I am a rock and roll realtor, so I'm going to help my friend Vincent this weekend find a home for his family and 3 children. So I do that.
What's
also.
what's your card or what's your name? If I was going to look you up.
You can just find me. info@patriciavonne.com is my email.
Oh, okay.
That's easy to remember. But I've been doing that 13 years, and that's also helped finance my
yeah.
independently released records, which are on my own label, Bandolera Records. And like I said in New York, I always had 3 jobs. Well, I still do.
yeah.
But I love
Kids are
diversity.
expensive. Kids are expensive. Yeah. It's expensive. So, okay, yeah, your real estate. What do you? I mean, have you just seen it just blow up since you were?
Well, sure.
Man.
And I also help fellow Latinos, like Mexicanos, find homes that have ITIN numbers, and sometimes it's hard to get the other side to,
Paperwork.
even breathe on
Yeah.
the situation.
Yeah.
So I fight for them, like Zorro Girl, like my character in Sin City, fight for my people.
Sin City, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I played Dallas, Zorro Girl, and Sin City 1 and 2, and like I said, Spy Kids Armageddon's coming out, and I think we can all be heroes. Little
Yeah,
did I know
yeah.
I'd be a Zorro Girl and Spy Kid, and it's just wonderful to relay that to the young people. To find out what their passion is and to keep going, not to hear to the detractors or
Yep.
anything, and
Yep. Keep it.
be a positive force and an influence for people as much as I can through my music, through my videos, through the short films, animations, and being here with you,
There you
Jake.
go. Thank you so much. We're about to go off it.
you
Patricia,
for
it's so
listening,
good to have you out
everybody.
here.